Welcome to Wash Talk, everyone, the Carwash Podcast. I'm your host, Rich DiPaolo, and joining me today, we have Erin Noonan, Director of Marketing for G&G Industrial Lighting. Hi, Erin. Nice to see you again.
Thanks, Rich. Nice to see you.
Yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you know it, Erin, but I am a sucker for light shows. So one of my favorite part of going through the car wash is seeing all these beautiful lights, and especially when they're paired with the application processes like foam shows and things like that. So I love all these lights, and I know G&G has been at the forefront of helping car wash operators for so many years now perfect these light shows and add to the experience. But from your seat there, Erin, how do colored light shows influence the overall customer experience? And in turn, how do they help to create customer loyalty?
Sure. So first of all, we share the same sentiment. I'm very fond of the light shows myself for obvious reasons, but also just from I have two little boys. So as a mom and always finding a way to engage with my children to make them enjoy the experience, we have to. I don't even have an option but to go to those kinds of things anymore. So light shows are a definite win from a consumer standpoint for me as well. So, from a car wash standpoint, we all know car washes are popping up over every corner, right? There's one across the street. There's one a mile down the street. So the fact that car wash lighting has a potential to really differentiate yourself from the competition. It draws attraction to your car wash site. It is a way to stand out in an oversaturated market and really lure customers in and provide that additional entertainment value like we were just talking about. That's something that you can't easily replicate in any other way. People come to the car wash with the sole purpose of having a car wash and a clean car at the end. Anything that you can give them in addition to that, a good time with their family, that speaks dividends. And that's why people like to come there. It's why they keep coming back. And it's a really easy way to engage with your customers, to, showcase the value that you're giving them as a car wash establishment in general, and then just repeat that business and grow long-term loyalty and brand loyalty. So the differentiation and the competition, the experience, it's just a grand culmination that's a really critical piece of being a successful car wash at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm obsessed with it, Erin. Even for the car washes that I don't go through, if I'm on the road with my wife or on vacation, I'll turn do a double take and see what's going on in people's tunnels and bays out there. And like you said, it's a magnet. It draws people in the light shows when they're done correctly. But I understand your company might have some data on that highlights the impact of colored light shows for car wash businesses. Can you share some of that data with us?
Yeah. So as a marketer, I can speak until I'm blue in the face about the value that I see in it. But the fact is, there's hard numbers that prove the value that these car wash light shows bring. So a really good example, we just recently did a case study with Papa Bear Car Wash in upstate South Carolina. So they had purchased the site a couple years ago, operated for a little bit, shut it down, did a high-level refurb, like just a quick refresh to the paint job, a couple of equipment tweaks. But the biggest visible difference was that they went from having no lights in the tunnel to our color wash, fully immersive color-changing light system. And the figures that they came back with were astounding. So high level, he mentioned they went from having 354 members before the shutdown to now they're at 6,100. They started at washing 4,000 cars a month. Now they're washing 22,000 cars a month. Now, I would love to take full credit for that and say that's solely because of the light show, but obviously they're doing a lot of things right in their business model in general. But again, that's one visual component that they are able to tie across all of their sites to create that brand consistency, to really highlight their different services, the way that they differentiate themselves from everybody else. And that light show is a critical component of that. So that data was very impressive and made me very happy to hear.
Yes, and if I was your agent, Erin, I'd make sure you get a cut of that commission for all the success, because your LED lights do play a big role. And, outside of light shows, Erin, LEDs just in general, they just offer a brighter experience and more brilliant experience. I'm old enough to have gone through the transition from those old incandescent, just the residential
parking lot lights.
Yeah, right. Just you come a long way, and you can just notice right away when you walk into a room, the light just fills the room from an LED. So, in addition to providing a visual appeal, Aaron, LED lighting also plays a significant functional role at these car washes. So, can you explain kind of some of the benefits that colored LEDs offer, maybe outside of those flashy light shows that we talked about?
Bar. So let's start at the beginning. Whenever you first come into the car wash, right? You're greeted at a bright white pay station. Like you have an instant feel of safety, security, like you're being seen, felt, heard whenever you're talking to your car washing agent. And you go through the tunnel, you've got this interactive light show. You proceed over to the vacuum stations where you've got this bright, crisp illumination, helps you with the productivity aspect of it. You can actually see what you're there to accomplish. You can see that you've got a clean car, but you feel safe doing it. So you've got the curb appeal factor. You've got the safety security factor. There's an overall just cleanliness factor that LED lighting provides. And then to take it a step further and do these color changing light shows where, there is an engagement factor to it, to where you can actually see, hey, I've got the hot wax function, the wax is coming down, but now there's a fire show going with it. It just makes you feel like I got what I paid for, right? I paid extra for this. So now there's the visual confirmation that I'm getting what I came there to receive. Funny story on that front. We had somebody tell us one time that had a customer complain at the end because their dryers didn't get hot because the red lights didn't come on. So there's no way that her car was dry by the end of it. Well, the lights have absolutely no effect on the effectiveness of the dryers, but the fact that she didn't see that visual confirmation because the red lights weren't there to heat it up, so to speak.
Right.
That speaks a lot to what the customers, how they feel whenever they see those different trigger confirmations going off through the tunnel. So that can go for every single chemical application. If you have a ceramic going on and you have an enhanced light show that accompanies that visual piece of that, it ignites the senses and it lets you know that you're getting your money's worth. And I paid for ceramic and now I'm definitely getting ceramic. So it goes a long way for sure.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's like you said, it's a sensory experience when you go through. So almost like an emotional experience when you're going through the car wash. That when you see the dryers, especially if you're used to seeing the red lights with it, you're wondering, did it was a step? See if there's something. Exactly. And I know you mentioned the vacuum stations as well, especially important if you're a mom getting that dried cereal, making sure you can see in between the seats or under the.
Language, yes.
So can you go through some of maybe the return on investment findings? I know, obviously LEDs are built to last, right? So you're getting that replacement and downtime savings. So can you maybe go through some of the return on investment findings that your companies realized when working with operators?
So tunnels are a little bit harder to quantify just because there's so many different variable factors with the lengths and the equipment and everything, how it's all tied in. But from an in-bay automatic standpoint, we were able to get some really impressive figures. So we've got 2 customers that are national chains. So combined, there's over 500 in-bay automatic sites between these 2. And interestingly enough, they both independently told me their ROI data, and it was the exact same for both. So the numbers were that overall, after adding color wash to their bays, their business increased 30% as a whole, 70% increase after dark. So at times where customers will be driving by and not even know that there was a car wash there was nothing to attract them, to lure them in. Seeing roadside that light show going off through the windows, like in this picture back here, it attracted them and engaged with them, and it fosters that repeat loyalty business there too. So a 30% increase overall is a substantial jump. And because of that vast increase in business, these systems have paid for themselves in less than 3 months' time. So sure, there's an upfront investment to get your lights, but you're going to realize the return on that so quickly. And thereon, it's just profit. It's just more money in the operator's pockets, right? So to have that same figure statement come from over 500 sites, I mean, so I'm sold. I believe.
Yeah, That's amazing, Aaron. And the car wash industry is a lot different than it was 10 years ago when we were attending these shows. The competition has gotten so high. As you mentioned before, car washes are building all across America close to competition. You want to be able to stand out because that might turn into a repeat customer or even a member if things work out. This is the first time we're catching up on Wash Talk, Aaron, but you've known me for a few years now because I'm pestering you for interviews for articles throughout the years, and I appreciate all the time you spent with me to answer my questions for the print articles that I put together. But something I've learned from you and others over the years is that all LEDs aren't built the same, right? There are LEDs that are specific to the car wash industry or made for that environment. So can you walk through how LEDs for the car wash how do they differ from a standard LED that might be suitable for an office environment, let's say? And what should operators consider when installing today's
Yeah,
LEDs?
great question. So, I mean, LED fixtures come in dime a dozen, right? You can find these on Amazon anywhere. What's going to happen whenever you take one of these imported fixtures that are just a colored light fixture and you put it in a car wash, it's going to be in a 100% humidity, direct spray, constant wash down, chemicals. Like we all know, car washes are harsh, nasty environments, right? That's why we got to close them down and clean them every night. So once you put this electronic into water, what's going to happen to it? It's not going to work very long. So shameless plug of G&G, I guess. We pride ourselves on the fact that all of our products are purpose built for the application that they're intended to go in. So what I mean by that is that we took the time to really understand the application. So our owners grew up in car washes, their families own car washes. They knew the struggles and how their lighting failed all the time. So they got to work building a light fixture that would not only survive it, but thrive in the application. So our fixtures are purpose built for that car wash, meaning that they're permanently sealed. There is absolutely no way that water is getting into this. They're chemically welded on the end. They're a one-piece enclosure. So think like a vapor type fixture that you see in a stairwell. You always see like the bugs or the moisture and stuff that gets in through the gaskets. That can't happen. Like there's no point of intrusion possible with our fixture. So that's one big thing, is making sure that it's got that ingress protection rating. So our fixtures are all IP68, which means that they're literally waterproof. It can be submerged up to a certain level for a certain amount of time. And then they're also 69K rated, meaning that they can be hit point blank with high pressure, high temperature water, and there's not anything getting in there. So the IP rating is a big one to look out for. The chemical resistant. So we use a special blend of plastics that make our fixture housing. So it's the same thing as like a Nalgene bottle. If you're familiar with like the drinking bottles, that you can't break them, like they're virtually indestructible, or like what barware that goes through a dishwasher in a commercial setting all the time, that type of material. So it can withstand the high pH, the acidic chemicals, everything that you're constantly exposed to in the car wash environment. If it's not a certain type of material, it will corrode. And if it corrodes, you're definitely getting water inside, and then it's definitely going to fail. So I think making sure that you've got that permanently sealed fixture that's constructed with a material that can absolutely withstand all that constant exposure. But even more importantly, making sure that it's safe to use in a car wash environment. So all of our fixtures are UL wet location rated. That's really important because the UL signifies that this is a safe electronic device. Well, wet location, it's safe to use it in water. So that's obviously very important whenever protecting your employees, your customers, and everything. Like you don't want anybody getting electrocuted. So those will be my 3 key points to look out for whenever you're choosing the fixture, to make sure that you've got a solution that's going to survive, it's going to work for you, and you're going to be able to safely do so. So,
Well, what's the point of these benefits, right? If it doesn't work and it's not made for the environment, you got varying temperatures in all these bays and tunnels. So yeah, it's got to be built to last. And it sounds like today's LEDs are doing just that. But when you're talking with operators, and they're obviously impressed by these lights, but they want to know what's next. So are there any trends or innovations that either you guys are working on or looking towards? Any improvements?
on something.
Well, clue us in. What
It's about innovation at G&G. We're always looking for the next best thing. So we're really good at coming up with a good quality product up front, but it can always be better, right? Like we're constantly going to be working towards the next best version of what we've already got, along with adding new bells and whistles. So I can't spill all the beans just yet. If you are at ICA, you should come talk to us then. You might learn a little bit more. But I will say there is going to be a massive shift towards more immersive experiences. Like, what else can you offer your customer? How else can lighting be a service to you? Like, maybe there's things that you can do with your lighting that's beyond just pretty colors. Maybe you can make it work for your business. Maybe there's technologies that we can integrate into our fixtures to help you as an operator be more efficient. We've got some pretty cool things in the works here, and I'm excited to share that with you guys in just a few short months. So.
Well, I'm on the edge of my seat, Erin. I'll be at the ICA. You'll be there, sure, and I'll go and hope other operators follow me there and learn what's going on, because it has been an exciting product category. These LED lightings and so many changes. Just going through the show, it seems like I'm seeing something new with LEDs every show. So that's great, but. If I'm an operator and I'm listening, I see your beautiful background, right? I see all those beautiful colors in your background, and I'm interested to incorporate some of that technology in my bay or tunnel. What key factors do I need to consider now before installation to really maximize my investment?
Sure. So, I mean, honestly, the way that we go about the whole process of getting the light fixtures into your wash is very consultative. Like, we're going to sit down and handhold you throughout the entire process. So there's not like a lot that you have to do to prepare for yourself. We make the installation process very easy. It's literally push and click connectors. If you can follow fixture one goes here and use little snapping connectors, I can install this. You guys can definitely install this. But that said, if you're preparing yourself, like, just figure out what your goals are. Like, what are you looking to achieve? Are you just wanting to throw up a little bit of color over a process highlighting arch? Like, that's something to consider. Do you want more of an immersive experience, say where it goes up the sides of the arch and over the top, so where they're really inundated in the car? Think about that. Are you just wanting, this is what we call let's see where I'm pointing here, the mood lighting that runs back and forth here. That's a really easy way to just saturate your bay with color, just to understand more of like what your goals are going into it, so we can align with your budgets and just make sure that we're giving you the best possible solution. Everything else will do the work for you. So there's not really a whole lot of work that you've got to do from a planning standpoint. And then again, we just make it really easy after the sale to install, to use, to maintain, to train, and all that stuff. So.
And G&G has been in the car wash industry for a long time, but it's also great that your management team has the experience of being an operator as well. So they're speaking the language that you're not just talking to a lighting company, you're talking to an operator as well. And that's something I'm sure operators appreciate for sure.
No, we definitely pride ourselves on, like, we can teach anybody lighting. Like, lighting is a technical product that can be taught. You can't teach people car washing. That, like, it's a culture. It's a thing, a mindset that you have to understand for sure by being in it. And the fact that they were born and raised into it definitely helps them understand like what the exact needs are of this demographic. Like, what are you looking for as an operator? We realize that you guys are car washers. That's your focus, is clean cars, producing a clean car consistently, right? You don't want to think about lighting. Like, you want this to be a cool feature that you've added that you can just know that it's going to work for you. It's something that you can trust and count on. And that's where we come into play. So we're here to help you out, help it make you more money and be a successful operator without having to devote too much of your time to doing so. So.
Well, you shared a lot with us today, Erin. I certainly appreciate your time, and thank you for going over some of that research that your company's seen. Obviously, that'll open the eyes for a lot of operators. In addition to learning about new innovations at the G&G booth at the trade show, I also like it because I don't need the map to find out where you are. I just have to follow the lights. Right? I just need to
sign. It's change your colors in the sky. You will find it. Like you said, it's like flies, they come to light, right?
Right. Exactly. So thanks for walking us through this. It was great catching up with you again, Erin, and it was great seeing you. And thanks for doing this interview with me at carwash.com.
Thank you so much. We'll see you in Vegas.
For sure.
All right. Thanks, Rich.